Adhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sagan Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayavacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine. Hare Krishna. Continuing to discuss and study from the 8th chapter of the second canto entitled Questions by Maharaj Parikshit. So Parikshit Maharaj is inquiring a series of questions covering a very vast topic. Almost everything which is required to be known is being inquired by Parikshit Maharaj, mainly in connection with the Supreme Lord, his various incarnations, and his expansions in the form of living entities. Okay. So we see, yesterday we discussed that he is inquiring about the various characteristics of the persons in various varnashram system, their occupations. He's then further asking about the yugas, the duration of yugas, and the activities of the yuga avatar. Then various religious principles one has to follow. It's talking about the varnashram dharma. What is the duty of an individual? Which dharma I should follow? So in a way, on very, very vast topics, he is covering most of the subject matters. And yesterday we discussed that kindly explain all about the elementary principles of creation. The number of such elementary principles, their causes and their development, and also the process of devotional service and the method of mystic power. So practically everything has been encompassed in terms of questions being asked by Maharaj Parikshit. Yogeshwara Aishwarya Gatir Lingabhangastu Yogina Vedopaveda Dharmana Itihasa Pura Paraneyo. What are the opulences of the great mystics? And what is their ultimate realization? How does the perfect mystic become detached from the subtle astral body? What is the basic knowledge of the Vedic literatures, including the branches of history and the supplementary Puranas? So the word which is being used here is Yogeshwara Aishwarya. The Yogeshwara or the master of mystics power can exhibit 8 kind of wonders of perfection by becoming smaller than the atom or lighter than a feather, getting anything and everything he desires, going anywhere and everywhere he likes, creating even a planet in the sky, etc. So these are inconceivable mystic power. One who is smaller than the smallest. How can he be at the same time become the bigger than the biggest? So this is inconceivable. But this inconceivable is fully manifested and reconciled in Lord Krishna's preparation. There are many Yogeshwaras having different proficiencies in these wonderful powers. And the topmost of all of them is Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is the greatest yogi, and he can perform such wonderful things far beyond the ordinary living beings. The devotees of the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, do not directly practice the process of mystic powers. But by the grace of the Lord, his devotee can defeat even a great Yogeshwara like Durvasha Muni. So, what Prabhupada is mentioning here, the devotee does not have to show or exhibit his powers. His devotee can defeat even a great Yogeshwara like Durvasha Muni, who picked up a quarrel with Maharaj Amrish and wanted to show the wonderful achievements of his mystic powers. Maharaj Amrish was a pure devotee of the Lord, and thus, without any effort to his part, the Lord saved him from the wrath of Yogeshwara Durvasha Muni. And the latter was obliged to beg pardon from the king. Similarly, at the time of Draupadi's precarious position, when she was attacked by the Kurus, who wanted to see her naked in the open assembly of the royal order, the Lord saved her from being stripped by supplying unlimited range of sari to cover her. And Draupadi knew nothing of mystic powers. Therefore, the devotees are also Yogeshwaras by the unlimited power of the Lord. Just as a child is powerful by the strength of his parents. Children do not try to protect themselves by any artificial means, but are saved by the mercy of the parents. Maharaj Parikshit inquired from learned Brahmana Sukhdev Goswami about the ultimate destination of such great mystics, or how they attain such extraordinary powers by their own efforts or by the grace of the Lord. He inquired also about their detachment from the subtle and gross material bodies. He inquired also about the purpose of the Vedic scriptures, Vedic knowledge. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 15:15, the whole purport of all the Vedas is to know the Supreme Personality of Godhead and thus become a transcendental loving servant of the Lord. Samplava sarvabhutanam vikrama pratisankrama ishtapuratya kamyana trivargasya sayodhi. Please explain unto me how the living beings are generated, how they are maintained, and how they are annihilated. Also tell me what is the advantages and what is disadvantages for discharging devotional service unto the Lord. What are the Vedic rituals and injunctions of the supplementary Vedic rites? What are the procedures of religion, economic development, and sense gratification? We're asking all about this secondary creation. Secondary creation because the living entities, how they are born, how they manifest, how they are annihilated. The word samplava, in the sense of perfect means, is employed to denote the discharging of devotional service And Prati Sankrama means just the opposite, or that which destroys the progress of devotional service. One who is firmly situated in the devotional service of the Lord can very easily execute the functions of conditional life. Living the conditional life is just like flying a boat in the middle of the ocean. One is completely at the mercy of the ocean. One is completely at the mercy of the ocean, and at every moment there is every chance of being drowned in the ocean by slight agitation. If the atmosphere is all right, the boat can fly very easily, undoubtedly. But if there is some storm, wind, fog, cloud, there is every possibility of being drowned into the sea. No one can control the whims of the oceans. However, one may be materially well equipped. One who has crossed the ocean by ship may have sufficient experience of which dependence upon the mercy. One who has crossed the ocean by ship may have sufficient experience of such dependence upon the mercy of the ocean. But one can fly over the ocean of material existence by the grace of the Lord very easily, without any fear of storm or fog. It all depends on the will of the Lord. No one can help if there is some unfortunate danger in the state of conditioned life. The devotee of the Lord, however, can cross the ocean of material existence without any anxiety, because the pure devotee is always protected by the Lord. 9:13. What is the verse? We have discussed this verse in recent times many times. What is the verse? 9:13, without saying the book. किसी को नहीं पता कौन सा वर्स है? फाइंड आउट मनोरम. महात्मानास्तु मां पार्था देवीं प्रकृतिम् आश्रिता. What is Satatam? No, Satatam Kirti Anto is 9:14. This is Mahatmanastu Mam Partha Devim Prakriti Manshit. What is the verse? 9:13. Mahatmanastu Mam Partha.
Yes, Prabhuji. The same words.
The Lord gives special attention to his devotee in their activity within material conditioned life. 9:29. Therefore, everyone should take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord and be a pure devotee of the Lord by all means. One should know, therefore, from the expert spiritual master the advantages and disadvantages conditioned for discharging devotional service. Okay. One should know, therefore, from the expert spiritual master the advantages and disadvantages conditioned for discharging devotional service. Just as Maharaj Parikshit asked his spiritual master, Srila Shukdev Goswami, according to Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, the essence of devotional service is one should not eat more. See, very important. What Prabhupada is mentioning here. According to Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, the science of devotional service, one should not eat more than what he requires to maintain body and soul together. Vegetables, diets, and milks, or Vegetable diets and milks are sufficient for maintenance. Vegetable diets and milks are sufficient for maintenance of human body, and therefore one has no need to eat anything more to satisfy the palate. One should not also accumulate money to become puffed up in the material world. One should earn his livelihood easily and honestly, for it is better to become a coolie for an honest livelihood than to become a great man in society by hook and crook. There is no harm if one becomes the richest man in the world by honest dealings, but one should not sacrifice the honest means of livelihood simply to accumulate wealth. Such an endeavor is harmful to devotional service. What is the recommendation in Updeshamrit? What Srila Rupa Goswami says about accumulation? Prabhupada is mentioning here that if one is doing accumulation, then it will be very unfavorable for him to perform bhakti. Prabhupada is saying one should not sacrifice the honest means of livelihood simply to accumulate wealth. Such an endeavor is harmful to devotional service. One should not talk nonsense. A devotee's business is to earn the favor of the Lord. Therefore, a devotee should always glorify the Lord in his wonderful creations. A devotee should not decry the creation of the Lord, defying him by saying that he has created a false world. The world is not false. Actually, a devotee should not decry the creation of the Lord, defying him by saying that he has created a false world. The world is not false. Actually, we have to take so many things from the world for our maintenance. So, how can we say that the world is false? Similarly, how can one think of the Lord as being without form? How can one become formless and at the same time have all intelligence and consciousness, direct and indirect? So, there are many things for a pure devotee to learn, and you should learn them perfectly from a bona fide personality like Shukdev Goswami. The favorable conditions for discharging devotional service are that one should be very enthusiastic in serving the Lord. The Lord, in this form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, wanted the cult of devotional service to the Lord to be preached all over the world, in every nook and corner. And therefore, a pure devotee's duty is to discharge this order as far as possible. Every devotee should be very enthusiastic, not only in performing his daily rituals of devotional service, but in trying to preach the cult. Success, okay. If he is not superficially successful in such an attempt, he should not be deterred from the discharge of his duties. Success or failure has no meaning for a pure devotee because he is a soldier in the field. Preaching the cult of devotional service is something like declaring a war against Maya. There are different kinds of materialists. Okay. Preaching the cult of devotional service is something like declaring war against the materialistic life. There are different kinds of materialists, such as the fruity workers, the mental speculators. All of them are against the existence of Godhead. They would declare that they are themselves God, although in every step and in every action they are dependent on the mercy of the Lord. Therefore, a pure devotee may not associate with such gangs of atheists. Prabhupada is using very strong words. We should avoid such gangs of atheists. A strong devotee of the Lord will not be misled by such atheistic propaganda of the non-devotees. But a neophyte devotee should be very cautious about them. A devotee should see to the right discharge of devotional service under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, and should not stick only to the formalities. Under the direction of the bona fide spiritual master, one should see how much service is being executed and not simply a devotee should not hanker after anything, but he should be satisfied with things that may automatically come to him by the will of the Lord. That should be the principle of devotional life, and all these principles are easily learned under the guidance of a spiritual master like Shukdev Goswami. Maharaj Parikshit inquired from Shukdev correctly, and one should follow his example. Maharaj Parikshit inquired about the process of creation, maintenance, and destruction of the material world, the process of Vedic rituals, and the method of executing pious activities in terms of the supplementary Vedas like the Puranas and Mahabharata. As explained before, the Mahabharata is the history of ancient India, and also are the Puranas. Pious acts are prescribed in the supplementary Vedas Smritis, which specifically mention, tying it back to the okay. Supplementary Vedas Smritis, which specifically mentions digging tanks and wells for the water supply of the people in general, to plant trees on the public roads, to construct public temples and places of worship of God, to establish places of charity where poor destitutes can be provided with foodstuffs, and similar activities are called purta. Similarly, the process of fulfilling the natural desires for sense gratification was also inquired about by the king for the benefit of all concerned. So, big areas of inquiry is being raised by Maharaj Parikshit. Two more verses in this section. Yava anushiyanam sarga pasandasya cha sambhava atmano bandha moksho cha vyavasthanam swarupata. Please also explain how merged in the body of the Lord living beings are created and how the infidels appears in the world. Also, please explain how the unconditioned living entities exist. The progressive devotees of the Lord must inquire from the bona fide spiritual master how living entities merged in the body of the Lord again comes back at the time of creation. There are two kinds of living entities. They are the ever liberated, unconditioned living beings, as well as the ever conditioned living beings. What are the Sanskrit terms? What are the Sanskrit terms? Yes, Ramya?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Nitya Baddha and Nitya Mukta.
Yes, very good. Of the ever conditioned living beings, there are two divisions. They are the faithful and the infidels. Out of the faithful, there are again two divisions, namely the devotees and the mental speculators. The mental speculators desires to merge in the existence of the Lord or to become one with the Lord. These are impersonalist. Whereas the devotees of the Lord desire to keep separate identities and constantly engage in the service of the Lord. The devotees who are not fully purified, as well as the empiric philosophers, become conditioned again during the next creation for further purification. Such conditioned souls become liberated by further progress of devotional service to the Lord. Maharaj Parikshit asked all these questions from the bona fide spiritual master in order to become fully equipped in the science of God. And this section is the last verse. Yatha tantra bhagavan vikridati atma mayaya visrajya va yatha mayam udasate sakshivat vibhu. The independent personality of Godhead enjoys his pastimes by his internal potency, and at the time of annihilation gives up the external potency, and he remains a witness to it all. Lord Sri Krishna, being the Supreme Personality of Godhead and fountainhead of all other incarnations, is the only independent person. He enjoys his pastime by creation as he desires and gives them up to the external energy at the time of annihilation. By the internal potency only, he kills the demon Putna, even though enjoying his pastime in the lap of his mother Yashoda. And when he desires to leave this world, he creates the pastime of killing his own family members, Yadukula, and remains unaffected by such annihilation. He is the witness of everything that is happening, and yet he has nothing to do with anything. He is independent in every respect. Maharaj Parikshit desired to know more perfectly. For a pure devotee ought to know well. I'm stopping here. So, such a big range of questions being asked by Parikshit Maharaj. He is practically covering every aspect of dharma, of artha, kama and moksha, everything. Hare Krishna. I'll stop here. From your side, if there is any question or discussion, please speak.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
Yes, Ravindra Prabhu.
इसमें टेस्ट नंबर 21 में ये प्रभुपाद लिख रहे हैं, ए डिवोटी शुड सी दी राइट डिस्चार्ज ऑफ डिवोशनल सर्विस अंडर द गाइडेंस ऑफ ए बोना फाइड स्पिरिचुअल मास्टर and should not stick only to the formalities.
Yes.
Only the formalities means
Formalities is only rituals, rules, regulations, without having the spirit of pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ritual is not spiritual. When it becomes spiritual, when the purpose is to please the Supreme. नहीं है? कितने लोग मिलते हैं? हाँ, हम सवेरे रोज 2 घंटे पूजा करते हैं। बोलो हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र करो, वो नहीं करेंगे। करते हैं? नहीं करेंगे। वो अपने हिसाब से अपनी पूजा करते हैं 2 घंटे। वो रिचुअल है या स्पिरिचुअल है?
वो रिचुअल है।
हाँ, स्पिरिचुअल नहीं है। स्पिरिचुअल कब होगा? जब बोनाफाइड स्पिरिचुअल मास्टर की गाइडेंस में करेंगे। SP means Srila Prabhupada. One devotee was nicely explaining. All of it, what we are doing is ritual, unless and until we come under the shelter and guidance of Srila Prabhupada. So the ritual becomes spiritual. What is the difference between ritual and spiritual? When it is under the guidance and instructions of the spiritual master, it is spiritual. Else it is all ritual. Okay, thank you for asking this good question. Okay, devotees, we have started our Bhagavad Gita marathon. Very important event because most of us are very non-performers in preaching. Only one preaching activity we do in the year, that is distribution of Bhagavad Gita to some extent. Apart from that, there is hardly any systematic cultivation of others, non-devotees, to make them become devotees. So we should put all our energy, all our effort to maximize books distribution. So Sunday the devotees came, so they have pledged to me, and today I received the first order from Ravindra Madhusudan Prabhu. He has taken 10 cartons Udiya Bhagavad Gita and 10 cartons Udiya Krishna book for distribution. He is planned, very inspired by Ravindra Prabhu. He takes every instruction very sincerely. Not that he is to be told 10 times and then he will say yes. That is third class. So we should graduate. So he's already given me 400, 500 books to be shipped to Odisha. And he's planned to go there before Gita Jayanti and distribute them. What about others? What is your plan, Manoram? Busy? Busy, absorbed in own life, have no time to think about devotional service. This is what Prabhupada is explaining. You see that purport? Very deep purport. A devotee should see to the right discharge of devotional service under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, and should not stick only to formalities. Under his direction of this bona fide spiritual master, one should see how much service is being executed, and not simply in a matter of ritual. A devotee should not hanker after anything, but he should be satisfied with things that may automatically come to him by the will of the Lord. That should be the principle of devotional life. And all these principles are easily learned under the guidance of spiritual master like Shukdev Goswami. Prabhupada is saying, therefore, a pure devotee must not associate with such gangs of atheists. And we are, very brave people, very bold people, very courageous people. We want to remain in the gang of atheists, not in the sangha of devotees, to perform devotional service. Okay. Manoram, Dayāśīl Prabhu has committed 1100 Bhagavad Gita, and Ravindra Madhusudan Prabhu has committed 1000. Those who are initiated devotees should do minimum 1000. After so many years, this 200, 400, 500 is not sufficient. And you must do it. Just by nodding, it is not sufficient. You find ways, find time. You have Saturdays, Sundays, go out, meet people, distribute, tell them. So please tell me how many books are to be sent. This time we have 1st December's Bhagavad Gita Jayanti. Okay. 10 days are already gone in this month. And my target has been revised by our temple president, Mohan Rupa Prabhu, who has revised from 11,500, what I did last year, to 15,000. So I have already started. So you people also start. Don't remain a non-starter. Okay. So you let me know in next 2 days how many books are to be shipped to you. I'll ship to you. Pradeep, you should do minimum 500. After so many years, you should be doing actually 5,000. But you people are so shy and so busy in your affairs that you don't have time. Minimum 500 books you should do. Purushottam, you also 500, not less. 500 is nothing. It is peanut. In 2-3 years, I was doing 500 or more. Pranab?
Okay, I'll let you know, Prabhuji. I am thinking how to.
The prices have dropped. Okay, the good part is I have already shared for the first time in history of BBT. From 2003, I am doing Bhagavad Gita distribution. This is for the first time I am experiencing the prices have dropped. They have dropped the prices, so that it becomes easy for others to distribute. Okay, so you will receive prices which will be less, so it is easy to distribute. Okay, Pradeep, Manoram, you make a note. You will do the counting. You write. 1100 is Dayāśīl Prabhu. 1000 is Ravinder Madhusudan Prabhu. And yours is also 1000. 500 is Ramya Madhur Mataji. And 400, Priyanka, how much was your?
400 Prabhu.
400 is Priyanka Mataji. 1000 is yours, Manoram Jagannath. 500 is Purushottam Prabhu. And 500 is Pradeep. Pranab Prabhu already does 500. Okay, every year you are doing more than 500. So I'll keep at least 500 for you. 500. Sonika, you should also do at least 500. You are hearing?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
You have full 2 months. This 2 months I am not taking any tour, I am no travel, no engagement, nothing. Full focus Bhagavad Gita distribution. Is that acceptable to you?
I will try, Prabhuji.
Of course, we are all trying. If we try, then there will be success. If the attempt is not there, then how will it happen? Okay, so you write 500 for Sonika also. At least give a sincere attempt and start distributing. Start giving me the dispatches from tomorrow onwards. I have already received from Ravinder Prabhu. So all of you put your energy, put your effort to maximum distribution of Srila Prabhupada books. If somebody has something to say, please speak. Regional language, whatever you want, minimum 1 carton. Minimum 1 carton. So we will send, we will deliver wherever you want in India. In whatever language you want. Oh. Okay, thank you very much. So what is the count now? You make a chart, bro. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
Don't post it now. Let me include others also. And then we will post it. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari.